Let's talk about it, y'all. The moment we've all been waiting for. Moments ago, it was announced that an official verdict has been reached in the Diddy trial. Okay, before we get into the official verdict, make sure to like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. We pushing to that million subs, man. We getting to a million subs. Right now, we just hit 320K. Appreciate each and every one of y'all. But yeah, man, let's get into the official verdict. Of course, 50 Cent, Boosie, and others reacted moments ago on social media. A lot of people giving their reaction to this official verdict. So, with that being said, let's get right into it, man.
Have the first verdict on count one, racketeering conspiracy. How do you find the defendant not guilty? And so now they'll move on to count two. Count two, how do you find the defendant not guilty? That is the sex trafficking of Cassandra Ventura. On count three, which is Mann Act transportation involving Cassie Ventura, guilty. Count four, sex trafficking of Jane, not guilty. Count five, Mann Act transportation of Jane, guilty. So mixed verdict here. Not guilty on three of the charges, guilty on two of the charges. Lisa, you're...
All right, y'all. As you can see, looks like Diddy will be coming home. All right. Seems like he was found not guilty on most of the serious charges. So, yeah, this is great news for Diddy and his family because, again, you didn't know what to expect. You know what I mean? This whole trial has been a circus act. A lot of people were obviously lying. You know what I mean? And like I said, the way that they manipulate the justice system is it's unfortunate because it's never really about justice, okay? But in this situation, like I said, I'm pretty sure Diddy and his family, they're very happy with the outcome of the verdict. Now, moments ago, 50 Cent, he reacted. We know he's been kicking Diddy's back in during the whole duration of this trial. Yesterday, fans called 50 out after he, made a post saying Diddy was getting ready to get hit with 20 years. Okay, well, as you can see, that isn't the case. All right, but moments ago, 50 Cent, he made a post. And in this post, he says, Diddy beat the feds. That boy a bad man. Beat the Rico. He the gay John Gotti. Yo, 50. 50 is wild, man. Like I said, a lot of people, as you can see right here, look, 50 is a weird guy. A lot of things were revealed in this trial, especially when it comes to 50 and his baby mother. You get what I mean? You're starting to see more and more as to, the real issue between 50 and Diddy. What started all of this? Because, man, once you heard about Daphne and all of these other situations, it's like I said, if anything, we were privy to certain things we weren't supposed to be exposed to when it comes to Diddy and how he give it up in the bedroom. And just like I said, it's a lot of wild behavior in the industry, whether it's Hollywood, the music business. At this point, it don't matter. But let's get into Boosie, because he also reacted moments ago as well. I'm trying to pull that up for y'all. I appreciate y'all being patient with me. Let's see here, man. But yeah, Boosie, he gave a reaction moments ago as well. Let's get right to it, man. Here we go, y'all. Here go Boosie's reaction. Give me a second. Appreciate y'all for being patient. Let's get right into what Boosie had to say about the Diddy verdict.
Bro. The reason is because I'm tired of seeing us black moguls get took down like that, bro. And I'm tired of seeing us black people go against us black moguls like that. And I feel like if Diddy was a white man who done all this shit for people, I know he ain't paid people, but if he done all this shit for hip hop, if he was white, they would have had so many white people out there protesting for this man losing his life behind a relationship, And people always Boosie was on Diddy's side. Nah, it ain't that. It's because I'm thinking about 7 children. Y'all thinking about one person. I'm thinking about these 7 kids who've been in my kids' position. Not knowing if your daddy gonna come home or not is a burden on the child. So all y'all was like, no, I'm thinking about them damn cheering, man. So man, I'm glad he free, bro. You know, like I've been said, I don't feel he was guilty of nothing. You know, nothing but domestic violence. You know, but the court spoke, man, and man, I'm happy that dude children, man. I know his feeling right now, bro. I'm just happy for them children, man. So, you know, Diddy, sit your ass down somewhere. That's what you need to do. Grab Stevie J in your chair and get the fuck on.
All right, y'all. As y'all can see, that was Boosie's reaction to the Diddy verdict. Okay, moments ago, Cassie put out a statement through her lawyer reacting to the Diddy verdict as well. For those who missed what Cassie had to say in her statement, the statement reads, "This entire criminal process started when our client Cassie had the courage to file her civil complaint in November 2023. Although the jury did not find Combs guilty of sex trafficking, Cassie, beyond a reasonable doubt, she paved the way for a jury to find him guilty of transportation to engage in prostitution. By coming forward with her experience, Cassie has left an indelible mark on both the entertainment industry and the fight for justice." Okay, like I said, a lot of people, felt like Cassie and others did all of this for the bag, man, for a check. You know what I mean? Now, granted, we did see the video of Diddy putting his hands on her. However, there are a lot of people coming forward with all of these wild claims, man. And once you started to peel the layers back and you started to see Cassie was complicit in a lot of these acts. You get what I mean? Shit, she was damn near initiating, to keep it 100. If you want to be real, that's when you started to see the truth started to reveal itself. You know what I mean? But my son, we know my son, he reacted to the verdict as well. Let's pull up his reaction so y'all can check out here what my son had to say. Like I said, pretty much everyone is reacting on social media right now because people really thought that Diddy was going to be sitting down for a minute, man. But yeah, this is what my son had to say in his post. My son said, I have already said that what he did to Cassie was cowardly and he should have been held accountable. But I'm glad that man will eventually go home to his family. Diddy was in no way innocent, but this was a witch hunt. He was demonized and almost lost his life for what rich white men have done forever. And not only haven't been charged, but been celebrated for. Okay. He says in the caption, once again, I don't condone the physical abuse that Cassie experienced, but Diddy did not deserve life in prison. Listen, man, like I said, if people felt like Diddy deserved to be, in jail for life over the Cassie video, I don't know if I agree with that. You get what I mean? Now, was he wrong for what he did to Cassie? Hell yeah. No man should put his hands on any woman. You know what I mean? Or no woman should put their hands on any man. You get what I'm saying? But in this situation here, there were people who felt like that was all the evidence they needed to see. And that in itself is crazy. Because, man, how do you throw someone's life away over this situation? You know what I mean? Does one person, don't a person deserve redemption? Don't they deserve a second chance? If this was your son, and granted, we don't really have context as to, what caused him to put his hands on her. You know what I mean? We get it. It's no justification. But the point is to see so many people, eager to throw Diddy's whole life away over that video in itself was crazy to me. You know what I mean? And, but like I said, from the looks of it, let me see if I can get y'all, let me get Lauren LaRosa. Let me get her. She was, there. She can give y'all a better assessment of the verdict, you know what I mean, being on the ground level. And shout out to Lauren. She's been doing her thing with the Breakfast Club. Shit, give me 1 second, man. Let's get right into Lauren LaRosa. Let's see what she had to say.
Let me see. Let me get somewhere that's like away. Whew. Hey y'all, good morning or afternoon. What is it? It's the morning time still. Okay, look. So let me just say, right, what just happened in court, I think a lot of us were not surprised about at all. So backing up, can you guys hear me good? Because I sat my phone down. Let me know if y'all can hear me good. Say yes in the chat if you guys can hear me good. I want to make sure you can hear me. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Somebody say yes real quick so I can get into the things. I just want to make sure that I'm not blocking my mic. Okay, so all right. So here's how it went down. So yesterday when we left court, the jurors said, look, we're together. We've decided on 4 counts. There is 1 count that we cannot come together on because we have people strongly on both sides. That was the Rico. When that happened yesterday, right? So in court yesterday, Diddy was like, when I say he was stuck, he was very emotional yesterday, just stuck. Teeny Garagos, who's been one of his lead attorneys as well, she was in court crying today. So he was found not guilty. Let me go down the list. I know the government is like, man, we wasted our time and our resources. So he was found not guilty of the racketeering charge. He was found not guilty of the trafficking. What he was found guilty of was the prostitution stuff, which after yesterday, right? And mind y'all, you talking about that racketeering charge, right? He would have been in jail for the rest of his life if he had been convicted of that. Now, yesterday when they were trying to figure out how they were going to instruct the jury, and Diddy's team was arguing heavily, right? They're like, look, we just need to give this jury more time. We don't want them to be pressured. We don't want to be involved too much. Like, we just want to give them more time. The reason why Diddy's team was so against the Allen charge, and the Allen charge is basically something where a judge is able to say to the jury, like, look, if we have to retry this again, there's going to be no jury that is smarter than you. Basically, like, we're going to have to do this all again, and they're going to get the same evidence. So we need y'all to figure this out. Diddy's team was so adamant yesterday that they did not, y'all, it's getting crazy outside of court because everybody's coming out. Diddy's team was adamant yesterday that they did not want that to happen because I think yesterday they knew we have a really good shot. If they've come to this decision as quickly as they had based on everything they've seen, and the one issue that they're having is the Rico charge that Diddy's team has been arguing all along was the main thing the government did not prove well. I think they had that feeling, but still, he was nervous as hell yesterday. Today, when they decided and they announced what he was acquitted on, when I tell y'all he was so thankful, he's looking at the jury in their face. He's thanking them. Like, you can't hear him, but he's audibly thanking them. He's prayer hands. He's everything. Now, they're arguing about whether Diddy is going to walk out of the courtroom today. They're waiting right now. The judge said by 1:00 he wants both sides to submit letters. Now, here's what his attorneys are asking, right? So his attorney, Mark Agnifilio, stands up and he's like, listen, he's only charged with the prostitution, right? And because he's only been charged with the prostitution, I'm not saying that this isn't serious, right? Like transportation to engage in prostitution. I'm not saying that this is not serious on a federal level and that federal charges aren't serious. But what I'm saying is that this is far less than what he was actually accused of altogether, right? He should be able to go home. If you look back in the jury, if you look back in the audience right now, his family is here. There's so much of his family members here. Any one of them, any 2 of them, any 5 of them right now could put up a bond for his release, for him to be able to go home right now. Mark Agnifilio said, look, we already took possession of his passport. We have physical possession of his passport right now. We found out last night, just in preparation for if this happened, right? We found out last night that his jet, his plane that he owns, right, is in Maui. It's been chartered. He does not have access to his plane. They asked, can he go and stay in his at his house in Miami, in Star Island, and just be under different conditions? Basically, like, We will watch him. The court can watch him. The court can tell us what to do, but he should be able to go home right now. And not only did they put the pressure on, he should be able to go home right now. His attorneys also said, and we need to decide it today while his family and everyone who has taken their time to be here are in court today, right now. They asked for the bond to be $1 million. And again, they, y'all, it's getting crazy out here. So many people outside. I'm gonna show you guys outside. They asked for it to be done today because they kept reiterating, anybody here right now in his family can put up that bond. This needs to be done today. So the judge said, listen, let me see what the government has to say. And based on what the government has to say, we kind of go from there. Like, let me see how they're feeling. So the government, they stand up and they're pissed. They're like, no, he should not go home because, number one, we've heard about instances where he's committed crimes and been violent to people involved in this case, even after he was under very public scrutiny, right? So he's like, for instance, with Jane testified that they got into this physical altercation, right? That happened once everything had been announced, once his house had been raided, houses had been raided. They literally said he has no regard for the government. He does what he wants to do. We've heard about all of the drugs. They even talked about the day of his actual arrest in New York. The government said, listen, did y'all forget that the day he was arrested in New York, he had tons of drugs in his hotel room. He had all of the supplies set up in his hotel room to do this exact act. The exact act that he was actually found guilty of, he was waiting to do it the day he was arrested. No, he should not go home. It makes no sense. The court should uphold this. He is a danger to people. He is a danger basically to himself. He is not going to be able to abide by whatever rules, whatever regulations we set. It makes no sense. So his attorneys then stand back up. Well, no, first the judge is like, well, okay, look, I want you guys to put all this stuff in a letter. We'll take a look at the letters by 1:00. And then we'll come back and we'll have a conversation about it because the judge did say, I do think that this is only fair and it's something that I will do. We'll decide on this today while everyone is here. But I want to give you guys some time because, to be fair, the government wasn't fully prepared to argue back against it. They did the best that they could and they made their points. They did. They talked a lot about what we've been talking about from the beginning. Diddy's disregard for just the laws in general. Like, there was allegations that he was contacting witnesses at one point. Again, he was arrested. There were freak-off supplies in his hotel room, which we saw in evidence. And the government kept pointing back to that. All of the things that happened even after he was under this major public scrutiny because the federal indictment had dropped, we saw evidence of him blatantly disregarding the law in the courts. It doesn't make any sense. So at 1:00, there should be these letters submitted by both the prosecution and by Diddy's attorneys stating their sides on him receiving a bond today. The judge is he's young and he's very to the point. The judge says, so wait, Mark Agnifilio, are you saying to me that you want Mr. Combs to be able to walk out of this courthouse right now? And he wasn't even saying that as far as are you crazy because this man gonna do what he want to do. He was saying it can you understand the logistics and the mayhem that will cause? Y'all, yesterday, me and Armand Wiggins, we were out here, we recorded, and I didn't even get a chance to put up my content from yesterday because it was just so much, but I'm going to make sure we run through all the content. Thank you.
All right, y'all. Try to give y'all a little update. You know what I mean? Shout out to Lauren LaRosa, right? Giving y'all context as to what's been going on the ground level. Because again, we haven't really seen any courtroom footage. I guess the media is banned from this trial, but you've seen so many people rush to report on this. I mean, so many people are now courtroom investigators. It's crazy seeing so many people give people these updates on a daily outside of the courthouse. Like I said, it's just been one circus for the whole duration of the Diddy trial. But as you can see, his lawyers, they not playing. They trying to get this man up out of there today. So we have to wait and see exactly what happens. But like I said, for Diddy and his family, they can relax a little bit Because again, a lot of people were exposed during this trial. A lot of people were exposed as liars. Okay, a lot of bums who down on their luck, man, and would rather lie on a person for a check in hopes to get whatever was going to come from this. But it's just unfortunate that this is the space that we're in. You know, is Diddy guilty? Of course, he's guilty of a lot of things, but come on. We are not, you know, the judge and the jury, so to speak. You can't be God. You know, at the end of the day, we all have to, you know, meet our fate when it's said and done, you know, but the way they try to paint this case in a way where this man, you know, had a whole criminal organization, and then you're hearing the people take the stand with their shaky testimony. You know what I mean? You're hearing the details. You're like, wait a minute, come on, y'all. And this is where we at with it. But y'all let me know. What are your thoughts on the Diddy verdicts? Do you think they got it right in this situation? Because like I said, a lot of people felt like Diddy should have been thrown under the jail after what we seen with the Cassie video. You know what I mean? Like I said, I don't condone that behavior from any person. However, I don't believe that this man should have been thrown in jail based off of the Cassie video alone. For life? I mean, come on. That's extreme. This is why my son and others are like, come on, you got white people in the industry, Hollywood, entertainment business that do stuff like this all the time. And it doesn't even make the blogs, doesn't even make media. You know what I mean? So when you see the situation and the outcome, I mean, this is where we at with it. A lot of people now have to be mindful of the things they said on these interviews, especially if you know you were lying. That's the point I'm trying to make. A lot of people, you know, they paint the picture of Diddy as if he was this evil man. But listen, for some, he changed their lives, made them millionaires. And have to sit back and watch people kick you in your back while you fighting for your life. Like I said, everybody, you know, didn't get wronged by Diddy. Some of these guys are just down on their luck, needing some money. They don't want to admit it, so they get gassed up by these lawyers and the attorneys because they don't really care about justice. They just want their name attached to a high-profile name like Diddy. Because let's say he did get found guilty on all of these. Oh, the lawyers become the stars. You know what I mean? They done gave people who are liars, for the record, immunity in exchange for telling lies on the stand. See, this is where it gets ridiculous. And like I said, for Diddy and his family, I know they sitting back, letting the lawyers cook. They like, yes, get me home tonight. Because, boy, when I get back, Diddy going to be dancing. Diddy going to be dancing from the courthouse straight to the jet to the house. I'm telling you, this party... I'm a fool, y'all. I don't know. Like I said, I'm sure Diddy, if he was smart, like Boosie said, sit your ass down. But when I think about it, shit, Diddy gonna be partying. Soon as he touched that, he gonna be partying his ass off, man. No pun intended. Oh my God. Don't let 50 hear this. But y'all let me know, man. What are your thoughts on the Diddy verdict? Again, do you think the jury's got it right? The jurors got it right in this situation? Because some people feel like, you know, Diddy got away with it. Whereas me, from what I heard, from what I seen, I wasn't convinced. I don't know Rico. You know what I mean? Freako, man. He a freaky mom. You know what I mean? You hearing the details of what goes on in you know, in his bedroom. That part, I'm shocked. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure we all affected by that because, you know, damn, we happy for the outcome, but at the same time, homie, what is up with these claims made by these workers? Because what's his homie name? The Punisher? Like, he all on everybody platform. So yeah, this is going to be interesting. But again, y'all let me know what you think about the Diddy verdict and the controversy altogether down in the comment section below. But with that being said, that's all I got for y'all today. My name is Sensei Rip. Till next time, peace.
MREC TV.
We mentioned Vlad TV.
Right.
Now, put me on. What's going on? Why he put your name in a bad light? Like, what's going on?
He was a part of that whole Kading, Reggie Wright, now Whack 100. He was a part of that whole team out there in Cali that was spreading false information
Say word.
by the death of Biggie Smalls.
Thank you for watching my video. If you like what you see, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And also, hit that notification bell to get the latest on hip-hop, sports, comedy, whatever. All right, we got you covered over here at Forgotten Kings TV. And also, click on one of these videos, okay? All right, y'all.